You know, Coach Dennis Green of the National Football League once said after a bad loss, they are what we thought they were. Well, I think in regards to the Buffaloes and the Oregon Ducks, they are what we thought they were.
Yes, they
70-14, the second-rated Ducks roll over your Colorado Buffaloes here in Eugene, Oregon, along with Larry Zimmer. I'm Mark Johnson. Lopsided loss. I guess nothing really surprises today, but the speed and athleticism and the tempo that Oregon has really is amazing to see firsthand.
You know, it's easy to say the greatest ever, but let me say this. I've seen a lot of very good football teams that would be great football teams in my career. You know, the Nebraskas, the Oklahomas, the Colorado, the early 90s, down at LSU, Michigan. I mean, I've seen some really good football
Alabama
teams.
here in recent years?
Yes. And I tell you what, I'm not too sure that I've seen a team quite like this Oregon team. Are they the greatest team ever? Well, you could probably argue that. But I'll tell you what, the way they go about business, the way, I mean, they just have they can strike from anywhere in the field. They're never out of position, and this is a very, very good Oregon football team.
So with that being said, I mean, Oregon racked up over 600 yards of offense. It was 56-0 at the half. The Buffaloes with 250-some yards of offense. I don't know then against this kind of opposition with that kind of style how you evaluate things for the Buffaloes, but somehow John Embry's got to figure out, does his team continue to play hard, and what do you do moving forward with this team?
I think they did come out and play hard. He said he wanted them to come out and fight, and I thought they did in the second half. I mean, they took the opening kickoff of the third quarter, drove down for a touchdown, and then got a turnover and turned that into points. But unfortunately, Oregon, playing their third and fourth stringers, they still had a great little quarterback out there in Brian Bennett, and he was able to score 2 touchdowns, and that just sort of negated what Colorado did. But, you know, I think you look for all the positives, and I think the fact that this team didn't quit, they were playing right till the end, and I think that's a good thing. And Christian Powell has 121 yards and 2 touchdowns, and against a good team. And I liked what Coach Embry said. He's taking the next step.
Yeah, he has taken the next step. He played very well. 20 carries, 121 yards, couple of touchdowns. Ran very hard in this ball game. Now it would appear after the contest that you've got to change a quarterback. In fact, on the radio broadcast, we asked John afterward, what are you going to do at quarterback this week? What is the evaluation process going to be? He said, I'm going to look at things. He said, I will make the decision. He was very clear about that. And he said, most likely we're going to see Nick Hirschman next week. Looks like there's a change of quarterback. Don't put all of this on the quarterback position, what Jordan Webb has done or has not done. But maybe at this point in time, you look for something to spark a football team.
Well, I know that Rip Sherry had a long meeting with Hirschman after the game. So, I mean, in the locker room. So, Mark, I think you're going to see that. You know, Embry didn't say it 100%, but I was standing next to him while you were interviewing him, and I think the resolve is there.
Well, now you've got a great change from a stylistic standpoint in the next opposition for the Buffaloes.
Yeah.
Next week it's home to host number 17 Stanford. You go from this video game-like offense and this unbelievable speed that Oregon has to probably the most physical team in the conference, and the Stanford Cardinal next week for homecoming.
I don't think they don't have speed.
No, they do. They do. Just not like this.
No, but they're a powerful football team. They're not a finesse team like Oregon is. So, yeah, it's a whole different week of preparation now for the Buffaloes.
You know, when we look at college football right now, Alabama and Oregon appear to be the best 2 teams in America, like they're on a collision course, doesn't it?
It surely does. We were looking at the schedules, and I think Oregon, unless Oregon State, you know, that rivalry, that Civil War, things can happen in that. And they're going to have to play USC twice, probably. I know they got to play them next week.
Yeah, next week in Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah, and if SC doesn't stumble, they'll see them again.
Well, this is a day the Buffaloes and its fans will soon want to forget about, as Colorado was rolled over by arguably the best team in America. Number 2 Oregon over the Buffaloes by 70-14 count. Next week, it's homecoming with number 17 Stanford at Folsom Field. We'll hit the air at 10:05 with the Buffalo Stampede, our network affiliates, at 10:35, and then the Boston Cardinal just after high noon at Folsom Field. For Larry Zimmer, I'm Mark Johnson, wrapping up from Eugene, Oregon. 70-14. It was all Ducks in this one. Thanks for joining us for our bus recap here on 850KOA.com.